How's it going, bro?
You knew?
Drew's gonna make me permanent CEO.
Couldn't agree with anything more.
I'm afraid she's gonna say that there's no future for us.
Have you told Willow that you slept with Drew yet?
You know me. You always do.
Does that mean you're using me now?
Oh, where to even begin with the train wreck that is General Hospital these days? First up, we've got the coming soon announcement lineup. In 9 months, brace yourselves for baby Gilmore Corinthos. And oh, what's that? Willow's serving us a double feature, twins with, wait for it, 2 different fathers. So, mark your calendars for baby Corinthos Quartermain and baby Corinthos Corinthos. Plot twist of the century, folks. And speaking of people who deserve what's coming to them, Drew and Willow, the countdown's on. Drew's big day of reckoning is basically overdue. Willow might as well say her goodbyes now because, girl, that marriage to Michael? Done. Carly and Brennan are practically the only characters with a pulse left in Port Charles. And while we're at it, how about we show Portia the door too? Wouldn't mind her clearing out her desk at GH sometime soon. Now, let's talk Jason. Team Jason all the way, right? Finally, some momentum to take down Drew. And if Jason doesn't come out on top, what's even the point? The guy's a legend. Drew taking the crown would be about as believable as a 2-headed baby storyline. Oh wait, haven't been this hyped for GH in years. And what's with Holly swooping in to smash up Sasha's life just to disappear? The first cousin plotline alone was enough to make most people queasy. Holly, good riddance. And Robert, well, he needed to stick around and show some spine with Diane. But who knows? If he rides off with Holly, let's hope it's the last we see of that snooze fest. Trina and Portia, adios, no tears shed. Lulu, for heaven's sake, would you just wake up already? Oh, and Sam, props to her for keeping it classy till the end, unlike some. Alexis absolutely nailed it with that grief storyline, bringing back all kinds of feels. Bottom line, GA's train is barely on the rails. Holly jetting off again. Honestly, nobody's been invested in her for ages. The way things are going, Drew and Willow might be next, and I can't imagine anyone putting up a fight over that. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Seriously, did Lucky need to come back? This guy's got potential written all over him, potential he's been ducking for years. Instead of stepping up, he's spent his time running in circles, terrified of commitment and planting roots, acting like he's some kind of hero by ducking out of his own life. Pack your bags, Lucky. Port Charles doesn't need any more hit-and-run dads. It's almost like GH has a playbook for its male characters. Pop in, make a mess, then vanish, leaving everyone else to pick up the pieces. At least, Jason's finally showing some commitment to family and staying put for a change. Someone had to. And let's talk about Diane's desk. Sam's will, front and center. Who's going to raise the kids now? Quartermains? Dante? Or will they try to keep it together at Sam's? With all these open-ended storylines, Drew's campaign, Willow versus Nina, Ava's trial, the Gates killer, Sam's funeral, Lulu's recovery, Sasha and Cody's saga, Valentin's possible return, and now Holly and Robert's vanishing act. It's like they're juggling 20 storylines with zero resolution in sight. As for Lucky, if he's sticking around, maybe, just maybe, he and Elizabeth can sort things out. The young actor cast as Danny, Jason's son, was a fantastic choice, just like Donna, Dante, and Morgan. But honestly, is anyone shocked that Lucky's already planning his next escape? He didn't exactly roll into town as the hero of Lulu's story. He came, he helped, and now he's ready to bolt. Poor Elizabeth, Lucky barely took a second to notice her when he showed up, and he'd better tread lightly with Aiden's heart. Elizabeth knows too well what it's like to lose time with a loved one. As she said, Sam would have given anything for more time. It's almost heartbreaking to think anyone was hoping Lucky might change this time. Honestly, go, Elizabeth. Lucky's got zero excuses. He didn't just leave Aiden, he left Cameron, who looked up to him as a father, and Jake, even after promising Jason he'd be there for him. If we're talking father figures, Franco was the best Elizabeth's kids ever had. And where's Laura in all this? Sure, now might not be the perfect time for her to step in, but in the past, she practically paved the way for Lucky to go off adventuring, without so much as a reminder that he had 3 boys counting on him. It's no wonder Elizabeth is done waiting for him to be the father they deserve. I get it. You want Lucky to come back with more than a flimsy plotline and a reputation as the poster child for absent dad. It's almost like the writers brought him back just to show he's got no clue how to stick around for his kids. Come on, GH, give the guy something with substance, or else he's just another wandering dad with nothing to offer. But let's be real, Lucky and fatherhood, not exactly a winning combo. He's been dodging responsibility like it's a full-time job. So maybe it's better that Aiden, Cameron, and Jake aren't waiting on him to swoop in just to disappear again. And Scout? Drew taking custody would probably be a hard no from me too. Then we've got Trina, who seems to rub people the wrong way with her so-called holier-than-thou attitude. Yes, she's got high standards, and yes, she's protective of her grades, but could she have handled the situation better? Sure, but let's be fair, it's not like she came back to school to hold anyone's hand. She's not the only one who's had a rough time, so a little patience with her wouldn't hurt either. Look, when you're a high-achieving student, the group projects are basically an endless nightmare of doing everyone's work while the slackers coast along. I totally get why she's fed up. Anyone who's been there would understand. But at the same time, just because Trina's driven doesn't mean she's always angry. She's got her moments of kindness, support, and even happiness, like any other character. And honestly, why the Trina hate? Her story has some depth. She's not just there to preach to her classmates. If this leads to her inspiring the football player to get his act together, then it's more than just another school project. Plus, if a little romance blossoms, I'm all for it. It's a nice break from the endless cycles of doom and gloom. Drew's love life has taken complicated to a whole new level. First, he hooks up with Michael's mom and Willow's mom. The man has officially earned himself the title of mother. Well, you get the idea. And can we talk about Jason? The second Michael spilled the beans, you knew Jason would be storming over to the Quartermain mansion, ready to throw down with Drew. No one crosses Michael on his watch. I mean, Jason went to jail for that boy. But for everyone who caught the preview, what did we miss? Did they tease a showdown between Jason and Drew? Now that Drew's Washington bound, Willow's definitely going to be fuming, and honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if she packed up and moved the whole family out there too. But Michael, instead of talking to his actual wife, he's off crying on Jason's shoulder. Everyone but Willow knows about her little fling with Drew, and poor Michael is the only one in the dark. And how about that line from Brennan to Carly? Everybody uses everybody. Something about that accent makes it sound so smooth, but GH fans know that's not the first time we've heard that line. Finola Hughes herself, Eka, Anna Devane, dropped it on John Travolta's Tony and staying alive, British accent and all. Oh, and speaking of plot twists, here's a juicy spoiler. Robert's exit has cracked open the door for Diane's new romance with Jason. Imagine Diane trading in her high heels and tailored suits for a leather jacket and a motorcycle helmet. She'll be zooming around with Jason, and then representing clients in court by day. Now that's a storyline to shake things up. Honestly, Trina deserves a standing ovation. She's one of GA's most compelling young actresses, hands down. She's honest, smart, loyal, and strong-minded, and she doesn't hold back from speaking the truth. Her moment of telling the police what she saw at the pool, Christina falling from Ava's window, was everything. A lot of people would lie for their friends, looking at you, Michael, covering up Sunny's dirt, but not Trina. She was willing to face the consequences, even if it put Ava in hot water. That's integrity right there. And Trina and Spencer, pure magic. Their relationship was one of the few that felt genuine on GH. She saw the best in him, encouraged him, defended him time and again, and even tried to protect him from people like Victor and Asmum. Unlike a lot of couples, she never once betrayed him. Yet somehow, people still manage to find reasons to hate on their relationship or criticize her for being sad about Spencer's death. Newsflash, it's called grief. And now fans are up in arms because she told off Kai? Really? Her grades mattered to her, and the guy couldn't have cared less about the project, just football. She wasn't rude, just direct. If anything, she kept it calm, and I probably wouldn't have been half as restrained. Some people are acting like Trina can't even breathe without someone finding fault. It's almost like they're channeling their dislike for Portia onto Trina, which is ridiculous. Trina is her own person and has every right to stand up for herself. Meanwhile, Sasha and Holly, don't even get me started. Sasha should delete that voicemail immediately, and Robert choosing Holly is beyond disappointing. Can we please have Max step in and knock some sense into them both? And as for Michael, why wait until after catching Willow and Drew twice before calling Diane? You'd think seeing them going at it in the nursery would have been enough of a wake-up call. The man has a remarkable tolerance for red flags, apparently. Bottom line, Trina's the real deal, and if some fans can't see that, they're missing out on one of the best characters GH has to offer. Jason definitely deserves a round of applause for how he handled that conversation with his son on Tuesday's episode. He was calm, mature, and showed the kind of care those kids really need right now. And honestly, if Sam were here, she'd probably want them all together at the Quartermain mansion, with the dads actually doing right by them. If Jason wanted to set up in the pool house or build a little guest house on the property, it could be a way to keep him close without adding to the already crowded mansion. And as for Drew, Washington or anywhere, but the mansion sounds perfect. He can take his drama and hit the road. Trina's character always seems to get people talking. Sure, she's serious about her grades and doesn't mince words when it comes to holding people accountable, especially when the cute football player in question isn't pulling his weight. But this isn't entitlement. It's a high-achieving student who values her future. Some fans want her to take a softer, more patient approach, but this is just who she is. Her priorities are crystal clear. She's not about to let anyone slacking jeopardize her grades. Honestly, what's the harm in a little backbone? Meanwhile, Lulu's storyline is taking a wild turn. Laura sitting by Lulu's bedside, talking to her about Sam's liver donation. It's heartbreaking but hopeful. And if Lulu does wake up believing she is Sam, now that would be a twist. Imagine her stepping back into the world, convinced she's Sam, reuniting with Dante and the kids, and even moving into what was Jason and Sam's old penthouse. Watching everyone try to keep up the charade, especially with Charlotte's resistance to anything unfactual, could make for some truly unforgettable scenes. It might be wild, but if any show can pull off that kind of storyline, it's GH. Sasha can't seem to catch a break. Holly swoops in, throws her life off balance, and now Sasha's left without Cody, without any connection to her father, and probably heading for yet another heartbreak. Can we get this woman some genuine happiness for once? It's been nothing but rough roads and dead ends. As for Trina, her reaction to her project partner was on point. Sure, the guy might be an ace on the football field, but at the end of the day, college is about more than just sports. If football is his only focus, he's putting his entire future on the line. Trina called him out on his lack of commitment because his slacking affects her too. But the real question is, does he even have the academic foundation to fall back on? Trina's right to hold him accountable. Then there's Tristan's farewell as Robert, which was truly the exit he deserved. After all these years, it was bittersweet to see him leave with Holly. Fans have loved him for so long, and this parting felt like the right send-off. Enjoy the Ren *des Vus Tristan, you've earned it. And Jason stepping up for Danny in the wake of Sam's death has been one of the more heartfelt moments lately. Danny's wish to stay with Rocco and Scout, to keep them together as a family, shows how much he values those bonds. Jason reassured him, promising that the adults will do what's best for the kids, and that simple promise is just what Danny needed to hear. Jason's support is exactly what those kids need right now. Then there's Trina and her project partner, who clearly wasn't pulling his weight, and got a much-needed wake-up call from her. And Robert's departure with Holly? Bittersweet, but it opens a new chapter for him and leaves room for the rest of Port Charles to shift. Meanwhile, Elizabeth finally told Lucky what we've all been thinking. He needs to stop running. Aiden idolizes his dad, and every time Lucky considers leaving, it's another heartbreak waiting to happen for that kid. If he's ever going to be a true father, he needs to settle down and step up. If there's one thing GH does well, it's complex relationships and tough choices, and right now, everyone's at a crossroads. It wouldn't be surprising if Dante and Jason decide to move into the Quartermain mansion to keep Danny, Rocco, and Scout together as one family. If they can handle this situation, it might even offer Scout the father figure she needs, especially if Drew stays wrapped up in his election drama. Maybe he'll win and conveniently bow out, leaving Scout in good hands. As for Robert and Holly, it's likely they aren't gone for good. Robert's been a core character for so long, and their departure has a certain we'll-be-back vibe. Plus, with Holly as Sasha's mother, there's a clear reason for her to drift back into Port Charles now and then, keeping both characters in play. That said, GA's writing choices lately have fans divided. Longtime viewers are shaking their heads at some of these storylines, killing off Sam instead of recasting, the Willow-Michael-Drew-Nina love quadrangle, and the Sasha-Cody chaos. After 3 decades of loyal viewership, it's easy to see why some fans feel let down by all these plot twists that seem to miss the mark. And seriously, Robert just walks away from his job without so much as a 2-week notice? Maybe Molly will be in line for a promotion, but still. Poor Sasha is left with nothing but heartbreak and abandonment. A new dad who skips town, a mother who was barely there, and a love life constantly in upheaval. Here's hoping the new year brings her, and the rest of us, a storyline that finally lets her catch a break. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.